Los Angeles County Hospital, 1969. Bruce Lee is visiting his student, Robert Chen, injured during training. Broken collarbone, when Dr. James Mitchell, the orthopedic surgeon treating Robert, sees Bruce and says with barely concealed contempt, "You're the martial arts instructor. You're the reason this young man is in a hospital bed. Martial arts is barbaric, dangerous. You're teaching kids to hurt each other and calling it discipline." Every nurse in that room stops. Every medical resident turns to look. Dr. Mitchell has been a surgeon for 20 years, treated hundreds of sports injuries, seen broken bones, torn ligaments, concussions. In his medical opinion, martial arts is unnecessary violence disguised as tradition. Bruce has 5 seconds to respond. He can defend himself verbally, argue about the benefits of martial arts, try to convince a doctor who's already made up his mind, or he can do something else, something that doesn't just answer Dr. Mitchell's accusation. It forces him to confront the difference between violence and discipline, between danger and control, between barbarism and mastery. What Bruce does in those 5 seconds doesn't just change Dr. Mitchell's opinion, it changes how he raises his own 2 sons for the next 15 years. But to understand why those 5 seconds mattered, we need to understand who Dr. James Mitchell was. Los Angeles, 1969. Dr. James Mitchell is 47 years old, orthopedic surgeon, specializes in sports injuries and trauma, works at Los Angeles County Hospital, one of the busiest trauma centers in California. Dr. Mitchell's credentials are impressive. Undergraduate at Stanford, medical school at Johns Hopkins, residency at Massachusetts General Hospital, board certified in orthopedic surgery, published researcher, teaches medical students, respected by colleagues, 20 years in practice, seen everything, broken bones of every type, torn ligaments, dislocated joints, spinal injuries, sports trauma, car accidents, industrial accidents, falls, assaults. He's good at his job. Really good. Skilled surgeon. Excellent diagnostic ability. High success rate with complex procedures. Patients trust him for good reason. But Dr. Mitchell has opinions, strong opinions, formed over 2 decades of treating injured people. Opinions about what activities are safe and what activities are reckless. In Dr. Mitchell's professional assessment, martial arts falls firmly in the reckless category. He's treated martial arts injuries regularly. Karate students with broken hands from board breaking, judo practitioners with separated shoulders from throws, taekwondo students with concussions from sparring, kung fu students with fractured ribs. Every month, at least 2 or 3 martial arts injuries come through his department. Young people, teenagers and 20-somethings hurt during training, hurt by their own instructors or training partners, hurt practicing ancient traditions that Dr. Mitchell considers barbaric. In his view, martial arts is violence pretending to be sport, ancient fighting techniques taught in modern dojos, teaching young people to punch, kick, throw and grapple, teaching them to hurt each other, then calling it discipline or character building or tradition. Dr. Mitchell thinks it's nonsense, dangerous nonsense. He compares it to gladiatorial combat, socially acceptable violence, people paying money to learn how to hurt other people, getting injured in the process, then coming to his hospital so he can fix what martial arts broke. He's tried talking to patients about it, suggesting they quit, find safer activities. Basketball, swimming, running, tennis, sports with lower injury rates, sports that don't involve deliberately striking another person. Most patients ignore his advice, say martial arts is important to them, say the benefits outweigh the risks, say their instructor teaches safety. But Dr. Mitchell knows better, because he sees the results. He sees the X-rays, the MRIs, the surgical repairs, the rehabilitation, the permanent damage. In his medical opinion, martial arts instructors are charlatans, selling tradition, selling discipline, selling ancient wisdom, but really just teaching violence and collecting tuition fees. November 1969, Thursday evening, 7:30 p.m. Dr. Mitchell is finishing his rounds in the orthopedic ward, 4th floor, West Wing, checking on post-surgical patients, reviewing charts, writing orders. He enters room 417. Robert Chen, 19 years old, lies in the hospital bed. Left arm in a sling, immobilized, broken clavicle, collarbone, clean fracture, good alignment, should heal well with conservative treatment, 6 to 8 weeks. Robert was admitted yesterday. Surgery this morning, simple procedure, plate and screws to stabilize the fracture. Routine for Dr. Mitchell, he's done hundreds. How are you feeling, Robert? Dr. Mitchell asks, reviewing the chart. Better, thanks. The pain medication helps. Good, the surgery went well. Everything aligned perfectly. You'll make a full recovery. Just need to keep the arm immobilized for 6 weeks. No heavy lifting. No sudden movements. I understand. Dr. Mitchell sits on the edge of the bed. Time for the conversation he has with every martial arts patient. Robert, I need to talk to you about how this happened. According to your intake form, you were injured during martial arts training. Yes, sir. I was practicing advanced techniques at my Kung Fu school. Lost my balance during a fall. Landed wrong. Kung Fu. Dr. Mitchell's tone shifts. And who's your instructor? Bruce Lee. He runs the Junfan Gung Fu Institute in... I know who Bruce Lee is. I've treated students from his school before. Robert looks surprised. Really? Who? I can't discuss other patients. But yes, this isn't the first injury from that school. This is a slight exaggeration. Dr. Mitchell has treated one previous student with a sprained ankle. But in his mind, 2 injuries prove a pattern. Sifu Bruce emphasizes safety. This was my mistake, not his teaching. Dr. Mitchell shakes his head. Robert, I need you to listen to me. As your doctor, as someone who has your best interest in mind, martial arts is dangerous. It's not a safe activity. You're learning to hit people, throw people, hurt people, and now you're hurt. This is cause and effect. But lots of sports have injuries. Football, basketball, even other sports have injuries from accidents. Martial arts has injuries from its fundamental purpose. You're practicing violence, and violence causes harm. That's not discipline. That's barbarism with a different name. Robert starts to respond, but Dr. Mitchell continues. I've been a surgeon for 20 years. I've treated hundreds of sports injuries. And martial arts injuries are different. They're not accidental. They're the natural result of teaching people to fight. Your instructor, this Bruce Lee, he's teaching you dangerous techniques, and he's making money doing it. That makes him responsible for putting you in this hospital bed. Dr. Mitchell, respectfully, you don't understand what Sifu Bruce teaches. I understand perfectly. I see the results every month. Broken bones, torn ligaments, concussions, all from martial arts training, all from instructors who claim they're teaching discipline while actually teaching violence. The door opens. Bruce Lee walks in. He's carrying a small bouquet of flowers and a book, visiting his injured student, checking on Robert's recovery, feeling responsible even though the injury was accidental. Bruce sees Dr. Mitchell, sees the white coat, the stethoscope, recognizes the conversation that was happening. Mr. Chen, how are you feeling? Bruce asks gently. Better, Sifu. Dr. Mitchell just finished examining me. Says the surgery went well. Bruce turns to the doctor, extends his hand politely. I'm Bruce Lee, Robert's instructor. Thank you for taking care of him. Dr. Mitchell doesn't shake Bruce's hand, just looks at him. Called professional assessment. You're the martial arts instructor. Yes, you're the reason this young man is in a hospital bed. The room goes silent. A nurse entering to check vitals stops in the doorway. Sensing confrontation, Bruce's expression doesn't change. Stays calm, respectful. I understand you're concerned about Robert's injury. I am too. But do you? Dr. Mitchell interrupts. Do you understand? Because from where I stand, you're teaching dangerous techniques, collecting tuition. And when students get hurt, like Robert here, you visit with flowers and act concerned. But you're the one who put him at risk in the first place. Martial arts has risks like any physical activity, but it's not like any physical activity. Basketball players don't practice punching each other in the face. Swimmers don't practice throwing each other onto concrete. Martial arts is fundamentally about violence, about hurting people. You're teaching kids to hurt each other and calling it discipline. That's not discipline, that's barbaric. Every word is measured, professional, but laced with contempt. Bruce stands quietly, listening, not interrupting, not getting defensive. Robert tries to speak. Dr. Mitchell, Sifu Bruce doesn't teach us to hurt people. Robert, Dr. Mitchell says firmly, you're injured, you're vulnerable right now, and you're defending someone who put you in this position. That's concerning to me as your physician. He turns back to Bruce. Mr. Lee, I've been a surgeon for 20 years. I've treated hundreds of sports injuries, and martial arts is the most consistently dangerous activity I see. Every month, young people come through that door with broken bones, torn ligaments, concussions, all from martial arts training, all preventable if instructors like you would stop teaching violence and pretending it's tradition. The nurse in the doorway shifts uncomfortably. This is intense, unprofessional even, but she doesn't interrupt. Dr. Mitchell is senior staff, respected surgeon. Bruce takes a breath, speaks calmly. Dr. Mitchell, I respect your medical expertise, and I understand your concerns. You see injured students, you see broken bones, and you make logical conclusions, but I think you're working with incomplete information. Incomplete information? Dr. Mitchell's voice rises slightly. I have 20 years of experience, hundreds of cases. What information am I missing? You see the students who get injured. You don't see the thousands who don't. You see the failures of training. You don't see the successes. You see the violence. You don't see the discipline that prevents violence. That's just rhetoric. Pretty words that don't change the fact that your students get hurt. May I ask you something? Bruce says, have you ever studied martial arts? No, and I don't need to. I treat the results. Then you've only seen one side. You've seen what happens when things go wrong. You haven't seen what happens when they go right. And what happens when they go right. Young people learn how to fight. That's supposed to be positive. Young people learn control. Learn discipline. Learn respect. Learn how to manage aggression instead of being controlled by it. Learn how to protect themselves and others without needing to use violence. Dr. Mitchell scoffs. That's the sales pitch. But the reality is broken bones. Like Robert's. Bruce looks at Robert, then back at Dr. Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell, would you let me show you something? It will take 5 seconds, and I think it will help you understand what martial arts training actually looks like when taught properly. Show me what? The difference between violence and discipline, between danger and control, between barbarism and mastery. Dr. Mitchell crosses his arms. Fine, show me. Convince me that what you teach isn't just legalized assault. Bruce nods. Robert, may I borrow your water cup? Robert hands Bruce a plastic cup from his bedside table. Half full of water. Bruce holds it up. Shows Dr. Mitchell. This cup represents a student. Vulnerable, fragile, valuable. He sets it on the adjustable bedside table. At chest height, between himself and Dr. Mitchell. In martial arts, we practice striking. Fast, powerful strikes designed to stop an opponent. Dr. Mitchell, you've seen the damage those strikes can cause when they connect with a person. Broken bones, internal injuries. Dr. Mitchell nods. Exactly my point. But watch this. Bruce positions himself, takes a stance, focuses, then he moves. His hand shoots forward. A strike aimed directly at the cup. Dr. Mitchell flinches, expects the cup to explode. Water everywhere, plastic shattered. But Bruce's hand stops, 1 millimeter from the cup. Doesn't touch it. Doesn't even create air displacement that would disturb the water. Perfect control. Perfect precision. Then Bruce does it again. Faster, same result. Hand stops 1 millimeter away. No contact, 3 more times. Each faster than the last. Each stopping at the exact same distance. Inhuman control. The entire sequence takes 5 seconds. 5 seconds that completely reframe Dr. Mitchell's understanding. Because Dr. Mitchell just witnessed something impossible. Speed combined with control at a level he didn't know existed. Power restrained with precision that defies his understanding of human motor control. Bruce lowers his hand, speaks quietly. What I just showed you, Dr. Mitchell, is what we train every day. Control, not violence. We teach students to generate power. But more importantly, we teach them to control that power, to stop before contact, to measure force precisely, to never use more than necessary. He picks up the cup, hands it to Dr. Mitchell. When students like Robert get injured, it's not because martial arts is barbaric, it's because they're learning. Learning control takes time. Mistakes happen. Just like in surgery. Dr. Mitchell holds the cup, mind racing. I assume you've had surgical complications, Dr. Mitchell. Times when a procedure didn't go as planned. When a patient was injured despite your best efforts. Dr. Mitchell nods slowly. Of course, surgery carries risks. Does that make surgery barbaric? Does it make you irresponsible? No, because the goal of surgery is healing. And the goal of martial arts is discipline, control, self-mastery. The injuries are accidents during training. Not the purpose. Just like surgical complications aren't the purpose of medicine. Dr. Mitchell sets the cup down. Processing. Bruce continues. You said martial arts is teaching kids to hurt each other, but we're actually teaching the opposite. We're teaching them to control themselves so completely that they can stop a strike 1 millimeter from contact. Can you imagine the discipline that requires? The focus, the self-control. But Robert still got injured. Because he's learning. He hasn't mastered control yet. He will. With time and training. Just like surgical residents make mistakes while learning. But they improve, they get better. Eventually, they become surgeons like you. The nurse in the doorway is watching, fascinated. She's never seen Dr. Mitchell challenged like this. Never seen someone stand up to his professional authority with such calm confidence. Dr. Mitchell runs a hand through his hair. I've spent 20 years seeing martial arts injuries, making assumptions based on what I saw. You made logical conclusions based on available evidence. Nothing wrong with that, but maybe the evidence was incomplete. What you just showed me, that level of control. Every serious martial artist trains that way. For years, for decades, building control, building discipline. so that we never accidentally hurt someone, so that if we ever need to defend ourselves or others, we can do exactly what's necessary. Nothing more, nothing less. Dr. Mitchell sits down on the edge of Robert's bed, thinking, I owe you an apology, Mr. Lee. I called what you teach barbaric. I said you were responsible for Robert's injury, but I didn't understand. No apology needed. You were protecting your patient. That's your job. I respect that. How long did it take you to develop that level of control? I've been training since I was a child, 30 years. But the principle can be taught. Every student learns it, some faster than others, but everyone who commits to the training develops real control. Dr. Mitchell looks at Robert. Is this true? Do you train this way? Robert nods. Every class. Sifu Bruce is obsessed with control. He says power without control is just random violence, but power with control is martial arts. Dr. Mitchell turns back to Bruce. I have 2 sons, 12 and 14. Good kids, but undisciplined, lacking focus. I've been worried about them, about how they'll handle life as they get older. Martial arts could help them, Bruce suggests. But I just spent 20 years thinking martial arts was dangerous. It can be, if taught wrong, if the focus is on fighting instead of discipline, if instructors care more about toughness than control. But when taught properly, martial arts is one of the safest, most disciplined activities someone can do. Dr. Mitchell stands, extends his hand. This time, Bruce takes it. Mr. Lee, I was wrong. Completely wrong. Thank you for being patient with me, for showing me instead of just arguing. Thank you for caring about your patients enough to confront me. Would you accept my sons as students? I'd like them to learn what you just showed me. Bruce smiles. Of course. Bring them to my school. We'll see if martial arts is right for them. 15 years later, 984. Dr. James Mitchell sits in his living room. His sons, now 27 and 29, are visiting for Sunday dinner. Both sons are successful. One is a lawyer, the other is an engineer. Both married, both happy, both disciplined, focused, respectful men. And both credit their father's decision in 1969 to enroll them in Bruce Lee's martial arts school. They trained for 10 years, through high school, through college, learning discipline, learning control, learning the philosophy Bruce Lee demonstrated in 5 seconds. Dr. Mitchell tells the story every time someone asks about his sons, about the day he called Bruce Lee's teaching barbaric, about the cup demonstration, about learning that his 20 years of medical experience had given him expertise but not understanding. He tells the story to medical students, to colleagues, to parents who ask about martial arts. I was wrong, he always says. I saw injuries and assumed martial arts caused them, but I didn't understand that injuries happen during the learning process. Just like in medicine, just like in any discipline worth mastering. Bruce Lee taught me something in 5 seconds that changed how I raised my sons. He taught me that discipline isn't about avoiding danger. It's about controlling yourself completely so danger never materializes. Bruce Lee died in 1973, but his impact on Dr. Mitchell's family lasted decades. The Mitchell sons raised their own children with the same principles: discipline, control, respect, the philosophy. Bruce demonstrated with a cup of water, because that's what 5 seconds created. Not just one conversation, not just one changed mind, but generations of people who understood that real strength is control, real power is discipline, and real mastery is knowing exactly when and how to use force and choosing not to unless absolutely necessary. So here's the question. What are you judging based on incomplete information? What expertise are you confusing with understanding? What conclusions have you drawn without seeing the full picture? Because Dr. Mitchell was an expert, 20 years experience, hundreds of cases, respected surgeon, and it took Bruce Lee 5 seconds to show him he didn't understand martial arts at all. 5 seconds to change a doctor's opinion. 5 seconds to change how 2 boys were raised. 5 seconds to impact generations. What will you do with your 5 seconds?